It's Thursday, July 3rd. In the headlines, government finalizes the next phase of the public sector modernization program. An enterprise team has been established to explore the development of the Sangster International Airport in St. James. In business news, Dolphin Cove changes directors. Regionally, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits Trinidad and Tobago. And in sports, Sabina Park should be ready for the West Indies-Australia test. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The government is finalizing the next phase of its public sector modernization program aimed at boosting efficiency, embracing digital innovation, and delivering better services for all Jamaicans. Speaking at the launch of a new public sector change management methodology, Finance and Public Service Minister Favour Williams said the program will build on the foundation set in Phase 1. But this next phase will be more ambitious, demanding more resources, deeper coordination, and strong change leadership.
We're now in the final stages of approval for the next phase, and I'm excited about what it represents. The new chapter will accelerate digitization to improve accessibility, efficiency, and transparency.
Minister Williams stressed that modernizing the public sector is a national priority, saying inefficiencies and outdated systems must be replaced if Jamaica is to remain globally competitive.
It will build capacity within the public service so our officers are equipped for the 21st century challenges. It will drive results by embedding performance, accountability, and citizen experience at the heart of public service delivery.
Cabinet Secretary Audrey Sewell echoed the message, noting the release of the methodology reflects a clear government commitment to build systems and skills for sustained public sector change.
Today marks not just the release of a document, but a declaration of intent, a clear signal that the government of Jamaica is serious about building systems, competencies, and culture. As Commissioner would have said, it's a change of culture to manage change effectively, consistently, and substantially across our public service.
An enterprise team has been established to explore an early extension of the concession agreement for Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. The goal is to attract continued private sector investment before the current agreement expires. Speaking at a virtual forum hosted by MBJ Airports on Wednesday, Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Daryl Vaz, announced that the airport could see major upgrades sooner than expected. The airport is currently managed by MBJ Airports Limited under a 30-year concession agreement granted in 2003 by the Airports Authority of Jamaica. Minister Vaz says the government's move to establish an enterprise team is designed to strategically evaluate options before the natural expiration of the agreement in 2033. The aim is to keep Jamaica ahead in the Caribbean travel market, especially as air travel demand continues to surge. While the process is still in its early stages, Minister Vaz says recommendations will be submitted to Cabinet in due course. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is sounding the alarm over the sale and use of 3 unregulated sexual enhancement products being circulated across Jamaica. Officials are urging the public to steer clear of these items, which they say pose serious health risks. The products in question, Black Bull Extreme, Erectimax, and Royal Honey, are being sold online and by informal vendors. But health authorities warn they are anything but safe. Chief Technical Director in the Standards and Regulation Division at the Ministry, Dr. Sean Moncrief, says the products have been flagged by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
The products Black Bull Extreme, Erectimax, and Royal Honey, which contain undeclared pharmaceutical ingredients, are primarily sold online and through informal vendors. This advice follows alerts issued by the United States Food and Drug Administration, which confirmed through laboratory analysis that the products contained undeclared pharmaceutical ingredients. These undeclared ingredients may cause harmful health effects, especially in individuals with underlying medical conditions or those taking prescription medications.
The ministry says tests conducted by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration have revealed that the products are being falsely advertised as natural supplements. Black Bull Extreme in particular is marketed as a dietary aid. The ministry is reminding Jamaicans to purchase health and wellness products only from licensed and authorized sources. Unused lands across Jamaica are being transformed into engines of food production, jobs, and growth. Through a groundbreaking partnership between the Ministry of Agriculture and the National Housing Trust, hundreds of acres once left idle are now being cultivated, fueling an agriculture revolution. From new agri-parks to youth-focused farming initiatives, the country is planting the seeds for a more food-secure future. Here's more in this JIS feature.
Unused lands are getting a second life for food, livelihoods, and growth. The Ministry of Agriculture has partnered with the National Housing Trust (NHT) to unlock hundreds of acres across the island for farming.
Under that MOU, we have gotten land in Dundee, Trelawney, Parbuckle Wharf in Hanover, and Dundee is 300 acres, Hanover is 119 acres, Alligator Pond 30 acres, Unity in St. Mary 698 acres.
Unused government-owned land is also being handed over for agricultural use.
We have gone to the NLA and we have said where we see lands that are government-owned, that are being occupied by farmers, let us manage it. Under that project, we have gotten Harmony Hall in St. Anne, 1,600 acres, and we have already regularized 55 farmers who now have leases to work on that land. We have also gotten some land in Portland, New Pen in St. Mary, 850 acres. We have received about 3,000 acres under these programs. But we're also expanding our agri-parks.
Jamaica is ramping up its agri-park network to drive production and job creation. The Parnassus Agri-Park in Clarendon has opened, with leases already granted to youth, women, and long-time land users.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Dolphin Cove Limited has advised that Jamaicans Mr. Stafford Burrows and Mr. Stephen Robert Strom have returned as directors effective Tuesday, July 1, 2025. All 4 Mexican directors were removed from the board of Dolphin Cove on Monday, leaving only the Jamaican directors. In a notice recently posted to the Jamaica Stock Exchange's website, the company said that the 4 removed from the company's board under Article 94H of its Articles of Incorporation. Under this article, which was used to remove chairman and founder Stafford Burrows after the buyout by the Mexican parent company, a director can be asked by instrument to resign from the board if the owners of more than 51% of the stock deliver this request to the company's registered office for the company secretary's attention. Access Financial Services says its founder, Marcus James, has officially returned from a 1-year leave of absence effective Tuesday, July 1. Mr. James will rejoin the boards of both Access Financial Services and its US-based subsidiary, Embassy Loans Incorporated, as an executive director. The company says Michael Shaw will continue to serve as chairman of both entities. For the trading period ending July 2, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Medical supplies distributor R.A. Williams Distributors Limited with 43,954,833 units traded, representing 62.52% of market sales volume. Logistics company Mail Pack Group Limited with 9,047,145 units traded, representing 12.87% of market sales volume. Alternative energy provider Wigton Energy Limited with 6,232,708 units traded, representing 8.87% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On July 2, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $53.20 million purchased and US $54.85 million sold by forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.51, selling the US at $160.37 and buying the US at $158.86. The Canadian dollar netted forex traders $5.94 per transaction, with selling at $118.52 and buying at $112.58. The British pound yielded forex traders $6.21 in profits, with selling at $190.89 and buying at $184.68. For our credit report tip of the day, it is time to put your credit score to work. Every point you've earned on the right credit card gives you access to tools that can lower your expenses, increase your cash flow, and support your wealth goals if you know how to use them. Stop settling for basic benefits when your credit can help you travel better, spend smarter, and build faster. Let's look at some benefits from the right credit card with the right credit score. You get to protect every purchase. From jewelry to tech, purchase protection reimburses you for theft or damage. And that peace of mind, priceless. Cover your phone. Your lifeline to clients and opportunities can be insured. If you use your credit card to buy your phone, if it's lost or broken, you're right back in action. And then you can also tap into price protection. If you spot a price drop on the phone you're interested in, refunds on the difference keeps your funds in your pocket. Now, when you're building something from nothing and you're moving from financial recovery to financial resilience, your rejection for funding your business idea doesn't mean you're unqualified. It means it's time to realign, repackage, and re-enter with strategy. As a professional woman over the age of 45, you've got experience, insight, and grit. And now it's time to turn that into funding power. This season isn't about proving your worth, it's about positioning your finances so lenders can finally see the value you bring to the table. Here are some ideas. Track your cash flow weekly. If you don't value it, no one else will. Open your business account, even if it's as small as $50. Claim your space. Surround yourself with women who talk about money with power, not fear. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Trinidad and Tobago, marking a historic moment and strengthening ties between the two nations. His two-day visit, the first by an Indian Prime Minister in over 20 years, is already bearing fruit, with concrete benefits announced for agriculture, health, and trade. Here's more in this report.
In his first appearance on TTT's Now Morning Show, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers, shared that Indian Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's visit has already brought concretized initiatives and deliverables that will redound to the benefit of the citizenry.
So we've had some deliverables with respect to the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, with the donation of a significant portion of rice and oil. There is also the agri-processing plant that was also announced that India is donating to Trinidad and Tobago.
In addition to the agro-processing plant, valued at over US $1 million, the health sector will also receive support from India.
Is in terms of health. A lot of the goods, the medicine actually, that we utilize within Trinidad and Tobago also comes from India. And there's going to be a significant positive shift in terms of those types of medication that we would be purchasing from India, which would go a very, very, very long way for a lot of people within this country.
Minister Sobers added that India also benefits from a synergistic relationship with Trinidad and Tobago.
We have a growing relationship with them as it pertains to some cultural exchanges. They benefit from a lot of that with respect to some exchange from persons of the diaspora going back to India and whatnot. We also purchase a lot of goods from India that is sold on our shelves here in our varying supermarkets throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to attend a community diaspora event, an address to a joint assembly of the Parliament, an exchange of memoranda of understanding, and a tree planting ceremony. Stacey Howard, TTT News.
Antigua and Barbuda is moving closer to opening its own forensic laboratory. The Antigua and Barbuda Forensic Services, ABFS, will become fully operational next year and will make solving crimes quicker and more efficient. It will mean the Twin Island state will not need to depend on other countries for certain areas of forensic analysis and is set to make Antigua and Barbuda a hub for forensic sciences in the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Nicola Barito reports.
The Antigua and Barbuda Forensic Services is soon to become operational. Legislation and training are two of the major components still to be completed. However, a step in the right direction for a Twin Island state and a start. Forensics Director Michael Morrell gives insight into the journey, the process, and the expectations.
Forensic science is very, very broad. We have, here at the lab, in our organizational chart, we have identified certain disciplines that we will look to put into place. And those are forensic chemistry, forensic toxicology, forensic biology and trace evidence examination, forensic ballistics, computer forensics, document analysis, etc. So those are some of the things that we have identified that over time that we will try to put in place at the forensic lab.
The Director of Forensics expects these disciplines to generate employment and training opportunities.
With the introduction of these disciplines, there will be a lot of opportunities for employment. We actually have persons at the lab, even at this stage when we have not actually begun functioning, there are persons here who are interns who have asked to come to the lab so that they can participate in what the lab has to offer and they can learn, and then perhaps that would encourage them to chart their career in the forensic science. So there are great opportunities. We will need forensic chemists, forensic biologists, trace evidence examiners, forensic photographers, the works. So opportunities are great.
Antigua and Barbuda stands to benefit tremendously, especially in the areas of crime detection and reduction.
It will benefit in a great way. Because now we'll be looking at forensic evidence which is collected at the crime scenes, and we'll be looking at it in a forensic manner, whereby we can get details from that evidence. We can then get additional evidence from those pieces of evidence, which can then link us to either the suspect, or even to the victim, or even to the crime scene. So it will help us a lot in the detection of crime and in putting those offenders who are guilty behind bars. Because forensic science is not only used to assist law enforcement agencies to detect those who are guilty, but it's also used to exonerate those who might be innocent and who might be innocently arrested. So it works both ways.
The Antigua and Barbuda Forensic Services facility is expected to be fully operational by the latter half of 2026. Nicola Barreto for ABS News.
Gratitude and growth. Guyana's health sector continues to benefit from a decades-long partnership with China. As the Chinese Medical Brigade marks over 30 years of service in the country, officials are highlighting the life-saving impact of the collaboration, from specialist surgeries to the formal training of local doctors, both home and abroad.
We are extremely grateful to the Chinese medical brigades that came and worked in Guyana, but more importantly to the government and to the people of China for making this collaboration possible. Of recent time, and during COVID, we had to reorient ourselves. And in that reorientation, one of the things that we were able to innovate is to ensure that apart from the brigade working and teaching while they work, we were able to formalize a teaching structure. And for the last 2 years now, we have been able to the brigade members would start teaching here, the theoretical components of the training, and then those who have been selected would go to China to do their practical training. And I think that has worked extremely well because all the persons who came back from their stint in China, they have been able to acquire a lot of surgical skills, and when they came back here, they're able to do some very complicated, very advanced surgery.
Based on the MOU signed between the government of China and Guyana in July 1993, the government of Jiangsu province was designated to undertake the task of dispatching medical teams to Guyana. This initiative marks China's very first medical team to a medical cooperation project with a country in South America and laid a solid foundation for our bilateral cooperation in healthcare sector. By now, China has dispatched 20 batches of medical teams to Guyana, comprising a total of 280 and 95 medical professionals. Over the past 32 years, the Chinese medical teams in Ghana, featuring tenacity, dedication, commitment to saving lives that knows no borders, have worked diligently in challenging environments in Guyana for over 11,000 days. Overcoming limited medical resources and infrastructure constraints, they have earned high praise and a deep appreciation from the government and the people of Guyana.
In today's sports report, we zero in on cricket. President of the Jamaica Cricket Association, Dr. Donovan Bennett, says preparations are progressing steadily for the third test between West Indies and Australia, scheduled to begin on July 12 at Sabina Park. The much-anticipated fixture will mark a historic occasion as Sabina Park hosts its first ever day-night pink ball test match. The venue is also slated to stage 2 T20 internationals on July 20 and July 22. To ensure the ground meets international standards, the JCA received $75 million in funding from the Jamaican government to upgrade lighting at the venue. In addition, a new state-of-the-art scoreboard was donated by the Government of India. While the JCA had initially targeted the end of May to complete the upgrades, work remains ongoing. Despite this, Dr. Bennett remains optimistic that all systems will be ready in time for the arrival of the Australian team. The series marks the return of international cricket to Sabina Park after a hiatus, and officials are aiming to deliver a world-class experience for players and fans alike. West Indies captain Roston Chase addressed the media ahead of the second test against Australia in Grenada, reflecting candidly on his side's recent defeat, fielding issues, and Craig Brathwaite's milestone. Here's more from Nasir Mohammed.
The West Indies squandered a strong start, plus lost momentum and control after the third morning.
I think the third morning of the test, we had our plan set and we got the opportunity that we were looking for, but we grasped it. And I thought after that, the guys went in the shell mentally, and then we strayed away from the plans that we had set, and we offered up too many runs, and then it's obviously was too much for us to get in.
Chase also acknowledged poor fielding as a significant factor in the defeat, particularly crucial dropped catches. Despite the result, Chase believes his leadership showed promise.
I thought I went well. I thought I managed the guys well, especially with the bowlers. I mean, it was quite hot in Barbados, but I thought that I shuffled the bowlers well. And I thought I gave the guys confidence. I managed them well out there. And although we were struggling a bit in the second innings, I still thought that I was able to get the best out of the guys and keep the spirits high. But as I said, it didn't work out for us in the end.
Looking ahead to the Grenada test, his first at the venue, Chase said the pitch looks better than Barbados and praised the local fans for turning up. Finally, Chase praised teammate Craig Brathwaite on reaching his 100th test match.
So it says a lot for Craig. I think he's a modern day legend and he's someone I look up to. I mean, I played with him from under 11 straight through, and one thing that he did stated probably early in his career or before starting his career, he wanted to play 100 tests. So I think that that's an amazing achievement that someone can set a goal from so early and achieve it after so many years.
First ball is at 10 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time from the Grenada National Stadium.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.